tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. May Triple Gem bless you all. This is, Mahasatipatthana Sutta, now number 82. This is the we reach to the end of this Mahasatipatthana Sutta. This is the, according to the, among the four noble truths, this is the last noble truth, that is the Maggasaccaniddeso, or the noble truth of the path that leads to the cessation of suffering. So usually we first go to the Pali canon, but taught by the Buddha directly, and then indirectly, what taught by the Buddha, it is in the commentary. So we need to go to the commentary as well as to the Desana Pali or the canon time to time. So this is the usual way I teach you up to now. So thank you, Mr. Pankaj. You are trying to get the screen. Okay, thank you so much. And you can see Maggasaccaniddeso. Maggasaccaniddeso number 402. You can see what is Maggasaccaniddeso mean, the description of the noble truth of the path. That is the Magga mean the path, Satcha mean the noble truth, and Niddesa mean the description. So description of the noble truth of the path. So what Buddha says in the noble truths, you can see in that number 402, Katamancha Bhikkhave Dukkha Nirodhagamini Patipada Arya Satcham. And what bhikkhu says the noble truth of the way of practice that leads to the cessation of suffering. Ayameva Aryo Attangiko Maggo Sayati Samma Ditti, Samma Sankapo, Samma Vacha, Samma Kamanto, Samma Ajivo, Samma Vayamo, Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi. Buddha explained there noble truth of what is noble truth of suffering, noble truth of the noble truth of the path that leads to the cessation of suffering in this way. So firstly, Buddha asked, and what bhikkhu is the noble truth of the way of practice that leads to the cessation of suffering? And then asking the question, and he gave the answer on the spot. Ayameva Aryo Attangiko Maggo. So what is the noble truth of the path? It is just this very noble eightfold path, namely Sayyatidang, namely Samma Ditti, right view, Samma Sankapo, right intention, or we can say right way of thought. And then Samma Vacha, right speech, Samma Kamanto, right action, and Samma Ajivos, right livelihood, and Samma Vayamo, right effort, or we can say right effort, and then Samma Sati, right mindfulness, Samma Samadhi, right concentration. So now explain what is Samadhi, what is Samma Sankappa, like everything. So now, therefore, I will explain again. And what bhikkhu is the noble truth of the way of practice that leads to the cessation of suffering. It is just this very noble eightfold path, namely right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. And then Buddha explained, Katamacha Bhikkhave Samma Ditti, and what bhikkhus is the right view. So that is very important, this right view. Yanko bhikkhave dukkhe jnanam, dukkha samudaya jnanam, dukkha nirodhe jnanam, dukkha nirodhagaminiya patipadaya jnanam, ayang vucchati bhikkhave sammaditthi. What is this sammaditthi? That is very important. Buddha told to the listeners that sammaditthi is four kinds of knowledge, inside knowledge, four kinds of knowledges. So those are the yanko bhikkhave dukkhe jnanam, yang dukkhe jnanam. So bhikkhu, it is the knowledge of suffering, dukkha jnanam, knowledge of suffering, and dukkha samudaya jnanam, and the knowledge of the cessation of suffering. Sorry, the origin of suffering, noble truth of the origin of the knowledge of the origin of suffering, and other one is dukkha nirodhe jnana. The third samadhi is the third right view is the dukkha nirodhe jnana, the knowledge of the cessation of suffering. And the dukkha nirodhagamini patipadaya jnanam, last samadhi or the right view, the final right, the last right view is the dukkha nirodhagamini patipadaya jnanam. That means the knowledge of the way of practice that leads to the cessation of suffering. So this is therefore Buddha told to the bhikkhu or to the meditator, ayang uchati bhikkhave sammaditthi. So this is the bhikkhu, this is called right view. That means Buddha explained here four types of right view. The first one is the dukkhe jnana. That is the first right view. So you need to practice. You need to practice. You need to practice dukkha satya. So what is the another explanation to the dukkha satya? What is the another term? That is the um, noble truth of dukkha jnana mean noble truth of the suffering. Or what is dukkha jnana mean? The knowledge of your five aggregate. Another way, another way to put in, that is the very good way to put in. Uh, this is your five aggregate. So dukkha jnana or dukkha jnana or five aggregate mean that is the first noble truth, right? Or noble truth of the suffering, noble truth of the suffering. So in this way you need to understand, right? Anyway, this dukkha jnana we discuss many times. Dukkha jnana mean your five aggregate. I have given good account in from the start. From the start mean from the Anapana section, Anapana meditation section. I explained this dukkha satya again there, and again dukkha satya in this four noble truths. Dukkha satya explained by the Buddha in a excellent way, and anyway, uh, if we simply say this dukkha satya is the four noble, sorry, dukkha satya is the five aggregate, right? Your five aggregate is the suffering aggregate, so therefore it is the dukkha satya. So that means dukkha jnana means sammaditthi. Especially here is sammaditthi. What is sammaditthi? The first sammaditthi is the dukkha jnana. There are four samadhi. Other one is dukkha jnana. Dukkha jnana means the noble truth of the suffering. And then dukkha samudaya jnana, noble truth of the origin of suffering. Keep it in mind, because I am telling repeatedly that to you to understand knowledge of the origin of suffering. And then dukkha nirodhe jnana. Jnana means the knowledge. So dukkha nirodhe means noble truth of knowledge of the noble truth of cessation of suffering. Nirodhe means cessation. And then dukkha nirodha gaminiya patipadaya jnanam. So knowledge of the way that knowledge of the way of practice that leads to the cessation of suffering. So that is the fourth right view. So these all four kinds of view, Buddha told this is the noble truth. Sorry, this is the right view. So, okay, this is the right view. And then we need to go to what is this right view, what Atthakatha says about this right view. So we need to go to the Atthakatha, otherwise you cannot understand what is this right view. Anyway, I explained this right view before also. So that means you need to find out your dukkha satcha dhamma. Dukkha satcha dhamma. That is the knowledge of the suffering, knowledge of the noble truth, the knowledge of the suffering. So uh, that means I explain how you wanna develop this noble truth of suffering. For example, you according to the Buddha's teaching, if you are a samathayanika meditator, that means if your inside knowledge depend on the jhana concentration, that is the samathayanika meditator. So if you are a samathayanika meditation, you must practice samatha jhana, or the we can say that is the absorption concentration. Up to the absorption concentration, you must discern. You must practice up to the absorption concentration, jhana concentration, and then how you wanna progress, you must practice four element meditation. If you do not want to practice another kind of samatha meditation, for example, kasina meditation and the arupa meditation. Arupa mean the immaterial meditation, or metta karuna mudita, like upeka, like four kinds of sublime abiding meditations, and asubha meditation, or the loathsome meditation, or the foulness meditation, and the 32 parts of the body you have, and up to the first jhana, like and then again anapanasati meditation, like meditation by which you can produce up to the jhana. So if you produce jhana, then you through this jhana light you must practice four element meditation, because four element meditation gives the materially about the four element mean, earth element, water element, fire element, wind element. Those are the four elements. But Buddha says about the four element, these four elements or one elements cannot arise alone or cannot exist alone. So every time they exist with the group. So this four element also exist in the group. For example, for element, when you discern for element, you can see your body is nothing, only the subatomic particles. Those are what is called Buddha, by the Buddha, rupa kalapa. So you need to analyze this rupa kalapa up to its ultimate sense. And like Pathavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo, Vana, Gandha, Rasa, Oja, like eight kind of materiality, or eight group of materiality. Oh, that means earth element, water element, fire element, wind element, and then color, order, flavor, nutritive essence, like that, for eight kind of materiality. So sometimes 10 kinds of materiality, sometimes nine kinds of materiality, nine group of materiality. So and then if you must practice materiality meditation up to the paramatha level, or up to the ultimate sense, up to the so that is the ultimate understanding. You should do your materiality meditation up to the ultimate materiality. And then mentality, your mentality meditation. If you do the mentality and materiality meditation, that means mentality meditation you have four aggregate. The materiality meditation only you have one aggregate. So your root aggregate or the mentality aggregate. So mentality has four kinds of aggregate. For example, you have feeling aggregate, perception aggregate, and then you have your formation aggregate, and then the last one is the consciousness aggregate. You have then four aggregate in the mentality meditation, and then you have one kind of aggregate in the materiality meditation. So altogether you have five aggregate. So those are the five aggregate which suffers you. So then so this is the dukkha satya. Then if you practice this materiality and mentality meditation, and if you discern the mentality and materiality definition knowledge, so that means that is the dukkha jnana, or the knowledge of the suffering. So that means one kind of Sammaditi, or the right view. So this is the right view, right? Nothing else. So try to understand. This is the way of practice. And the second, so therefore, uh, let's go to our Attakatha then. What Attakatha says about this. So Attakatha 402. It says, I am then. Now Buddha told in this way, Katama in the Desana Pali. Again, if you go to the Desana Pali, Katamancha Bhikkave Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Patipada Arya Sachan. And what bhikkhu is the noble truth of the way of practice that leads to the cessation of suffering. And then Buddha said, told to the people, Ayameva Aryo Attangiko Maggo. Ayameva. What is Ayameva mean? Then it explained what is this Ayang Eva become Ayameva. Ayang Eva. Eva mean like this is that is the actually emphasizing word. Eva mean. Ayang mean this. So what is the ayam eva mean? This is the only. This is the only. What is the meaning of this? This is the only way, only path. This is the only. Oh, this is the this. It is just this very noble eightfold path. Like understanding, you must take into the mind. So ayamevati. So ayameva stand for. Then that means this is the only stand for Anyamagga Patikkepanatang Niyamanam. That is the actually this is the only way. So therefore, that is stand for rejection of another kind of path. Anyamagga mean another kind of path. Patikkepanatang mean for the sake of rejection, for the purpose of rejection of another kind of path. This is the one and only path. So therefore, so that is the explanation. Ayameva mean anyamagga patikkepanatang niyamana. Ariyoti. What is the Ariyo? Ayameva Ariyo attangiko maggo, Buddha told. So Ariyo. Ariyoti tantang magga vajjehi kilesehi arakatta Arya bahava karatta cha Ariyo. What is the explanation? That is the definition of Ariyo. Tantang magga vajjehi kilesehi arakatta. That means someone's someone is being pretty remote from the defilement. That is the magga that called tantang magga vajjehi kilesehi arakata. Araka mean the remote. So therefore we can say someone is being pretty remote from the defilement. That Arya Bhava Karattaja, and actually defilement Tantang Magavajjehi. Tantang Magavajjehi means that they that that are destroyed by relevant path knowledge. Tantang Magavajjehi means that so those kind of someone is pretty remote from the defilement that are destroyed by the relevant path knowledge, right? Relevant path knowledge. If they are destroyed by the relevant path knowledge, so that is therefore it is also Arya, the word Arya. And again, Arya Bhava Karatta cha Aryo. The other one is Arya Bhava Karatta mean being done the remoteness of defilement. That is another way of explanation. So being done the remoteness of the defilement. So that is the term Arya. So that means the term noble one. Arya means the noble one. So noble one stand for. So noble one mean, again I will tell noble one, how to explain noble one. Someone is pretty remote from the defilement that are destroyed by the relevant path knowledge. That is also Arya. And other one is being done the remoteness of defilement. So that is also Arya. Arya mean the noble one. Dukkhe jnananti adina chatusacca kammattanam dassita. Now, what is the Dukkha Jnanam, Dukkha Samudaya Jnanam, Dukkha Nirodha Jnanam, Dukkha Nirodha Gaminiya, Patipadaya Jnanam, like Buddha explained there, what they are? Dukkha Jnanam ti Adina, that means Dukkha, the noble truth of the suffering, like the knowledge of suffering, like thing, what is that? It is indicated the meditation subject of Chatu Satcha Kammatana. You know, Kammatana means the meditation subject. So it is indicated the meditation subject of Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths. Chatu Satcha means the Four Noble Truths. So therefore, Four Noble Truths are the right view, right? Four Noble Truths are the right view. If somebody asks, what is right view? So you want to tell the answer as the knowledge of suffering, the knowledge of the origin of suffering, and the knowledge of the cessation of suffering, the knowledge of the way that leads to the cessation of suffering. So those are the right view. So this is the real answer. Uh, and then tatta purimani dve sachani vattam, pachimani vivattam. What is the meaning there? So if you discern the dukkha satcha dhamma or the first noble truth, if you discern the first noble truth's phenomena, that means your five aggregate. Keep it in mind. First noble truth phenomena mean your five aggregate, because that is the those are the aggregate which suffer. So therefore, it is the five aggregate are the suffering aggregate, and this uh, now you know that for four kinds of right knowledge or right view, not the knowledge, right view is the uh, four noble truths, right? The knowledge of the four noble truths are the four kinds of right view. So now Tatta Purimani Dve Sachani Vattam. What is the meaning of that? Purimani Dve Sachani mean the first and second noble truths. That means your noble truths of the knowledge of the suffering and knowledge of the arising of suffering, origin of suffering. That is the those are the Purimani Dve. That means initial two noble truths are Vattam. Vattam means actually that still worldly. It is worldling still. That means those are in round of rebirth still. For example, what is the noble truth of suffering? I explained that is the five aggregate. And what is the noble truth of the origin of suffering? You know, there are five causes according to the Buddha's teaching. So, origin of suffering means the causes of suffering. So, firstly, avijja, that means ignorance or delusion, illusion kind of word you can say. And the second one is the tanha, craving. And we discussed those things before. And then clinging, upadana, and then formation, or we can say sankhara, and kammasati, sankhara and kammasati, kamic force or kamic power. So those are the five causes. Those are the remote five causes which leads to the which those five causes produce your five aggregate. So if you discern those five kinds of causes, when you go to your first past life, second past life, like many past lives with the meditation, so that is, and then if you do the causal relationship of those five causes with this five aggregate in the present life, and these causes of present life causes, how uh, to get the seeds uh, to produce another five kinds of aggregate in the near future, in future lives. So if you do this causal relationship, then your samudaya satcha, or the origin of suffering, noble truth of the origin of suffering, or the knowledge of the origin of suffering, finish. So therefore, the, those are still actually, you didn't cross still nirodha satcha, or the you didn't you didn't see, or the meditator didn't see the nibbana still, the that is the Nibbana is the peaceful element, or we can say it is unconditioned element. So this element, if you see this element, that is the then you are not in the round of rebirth with the Arahant path knowledge, I mean. But if you didn't reach to the Arahant path knowledge, the final path knowledge in this Four Noble Truths, and then if you didn't see, then you are still in the what mean the round of rebirth. Vivatta mean the then we can say devolution of the rebirth. So what is the round of rebirth? That is the devolution of the round of rebirth. So then therefore initial two suchas mean first and second noble truths are still worlding, belongs to the round of rebirth. Even in the Anagami also belongs to the round of rebirth. Sakadagami and Sotapan also belongs to the round of rebirth. Only Arahant belongs to the devotion of rebirth. So therefore, Maggasacca also not in the round of rebirth. And then Nirodha Satcha, or the noble truth of the cessation of suffering and noble truth of the path that leads to the cessation of suffering, those kind of two last Satchas, or the two last noble truths are in the Vivat, or devolution of the rebirth. It belongs to the devolution of the rebirth, and initial two suchas are still in the round of rebirth. Try to understand in this way, because they are still worlding, and your five aggregate still worlding, because you didn't see the nibbana with the arahant path knowledge, and your causes of the five aggregate are still worlding, because you didn't see the nibbana up to now with the arahant path knowledge. And nibbana, with the Arahant path knowledge and the Magga mean the noble eightfold path, all factors, if the all factors are in the Magga jnana and the Phala jnana, or the path knowledge and the fruition knowledge, then those are in the devolution of rebirth. So try to understand those things. So therefore it says Tatta Purimani Dvesachani Vattang Pachimani Vivattang. And then the final two, or the latter two, are in devolution of the rebirth. Tesu Bhikkhuno Vatte Kammatthana Biniveso Hoti Vivatte Nahoti. Vivatte Nati Abhiniveso. What is this Abhiniveso? Abhiniveso means this is the Vipassana Abhiniveso. Vipassana Abhinivesa means, what is the meaning? Approaching to the Vipassana. Approaching to the Vipassana, what is called Vipassana Abhinivesa. So Tatta, what it says, Tatta, Tesu means among Four Noble Truths, Bhikkhuno Vatte Kammabhinivaso Hoti. To the Bhikkhu, or to the meditator, among these Four Noble Truths, Bhikkhu Vatte mean in the round of rebirth, Kammatthana Bhiniveso Hoti. So Kammatthana Bhiniveso mean now. What are the object of Vipassana? Object of Vipassana, what is the Kammatthana Bhiniveso mean? What is the object of Vipassana? So, now I have told many times this. First noble truths and the second noble truths are the object of Vipassana. If you didn't discern this first noble truths and the second noble truths, so you cannot practice Vipassana. That is the Buddha's teaching. Every time I will remind you this thing. And still, if I remind this thing for many times, maybe 100 times, but still somebody cannot understand very clearly what the Buddha's teaching. So this is the Buddha's teaching. Try to understand. They're very easy to understand, but the practice, if you want to practice, that practice is somewhat difficult, right? Somewhat easy. If you practice jhana, then easy with the path. But if you do not practice jhana, that is very difficult, this path. So try to understand. And then somebody ask again and again, but no problem, right? If you have question, you can ask again and again. They ask about depending on their um, current meditation subject. But that means whatever the meditation subject they practice, depending on that, actually asking the question. And but you try to understand the Buddha's real teaching and then practice accordingly. So that is the good way. So now, so therefore, what they mean in the round of rebirth or in the worlding, that means first and second noble truths, right? Kammatana biniveso hoti, approaching to the vipassana. This is the, so therefore, among these four kinds of noble truths, the worlding or the mundane, we can say, or the mundane, initial two noble truths, there are vipassana objects to the meditator, right? There are vipassana objects to the meditator. But vivate nati abhiniveso. If you realize the nibbana, so you don't continue your vipassana. Then you stop vipassana at that. If you see the nibbana, no need to, because if you see the nibbana is the peaceful element, and it has nothing about the arising and passing away, and it has no any kind of suffering. So therefore, you can't practice vipassana by seeing the Nirodha Satya, or you can practice vipassana on the Maggasacca. Because why? Maggasacca means the noble eight factors, noble eight factors, like samadhi, starting from the samadhi, that those are the Maggasacca. Therefore, you can practice vipassana on them. You must practice vipassana on the first noble truths and the second noble truths. Therefore, that's the understanding there. You must get from that. Purimanihi dve sachani panchakanda dukkham tanha samudayoti evan sankepena cha katame panchakanda rupa khando adina nayana vittarena cha acharyasa santike ugganhitva vachaya punapunang parivattento yogavacharo kammam karoti. I explained that is the very important information from the Buddha to you. This Atakata Charya has actually has been Atakata Charya have protected kind of sentence by the Buddha, right? We want to pay respect for them because they recite those things in the first Sanghayana, second Sanghayana, and the third Sanghayana, fourth Sanghayana, like. And then only the book they actually they compile them as a book. So then we must pay respect, because those every sentence, difficult sentence, they are protected. So what is the important thing here? Purimani dve sachani panchakanda dukkham. Oh, now in the case of uh, noble truth of that means in the case of the second and first and second noble truths, in the first and second noble truths, those are the panchakanda dukkha. So that means that is the purimani hi dvesachani. In the case of first and second noble truths, Panchakanda Dukkham. So Dukkha Satya is the noble truth of the suffering is the five aggregate. So keep it in mind, noble truth of the suffering is the five aggregate. And Tanha Samudayo. Sorry, Tanha Samudayo. Then the second noble truth, or the Tanha, or the craving, is the second noble truth. So that is the craving is the second noble truth. That means we actually discussed the second noble truth, the origin of second noble truths, tanha, rising of tanha by Buddha focusing 10 thing. 10 thing mean 10 places. 10 places tanha arises and get established. We discussed those things. So therefore, tanha is the noble truth of the noble truth of the origin of suffering, right? Origin of suffering. So therefore, actually, uh, oh yeah, we can approach to an idea that there are two vipassana objects. That is to say, first and second noble truths. So first and second noble truths means first and second right view. So try to understand, right? First and second right view are the first and second noble truths. Like that, you should get the idea and then practice accordingly. And therefore, indeed, in the initial two noble truths, five aggregates are the noble truth of suffering. Craving is the noble truth of the origin of suffering. And evam sankepenacha. In this way, in the like brief way, right? Brief way, Buddha explained those things. And katame panchakanda rupakando adina nayana vittarenacha. And again it says, what are the five aggregate? Katame panchakanda, what are the five aggregate? And materiality aggregates and the like method, right? Materiality aggregate, and the like mean adina nayana mean and the like. Um, that mean materiality aggregate, feeling aggregate, your perception aggregate, formation aggregate, and the consciousness aggregate. So those are the five aggregate. In this, by this method, vittarenacha, in detailed method also, acharyasa santike ugannitva. This is very important. You must go to your, you must approach to the your meditation teacher. But meditation teacher must know this path very clearly, because the Buddha told, no, in the initially also, this is the one and only path, nothing else. The other, all another way of practice are not the mug or not the path. So that is the Anyamagga Patikke Panattang, that is the explanation of the Attakatha. That means rejection of the another kind of path, right? So then therefore you must go to your teacher, good teacher, sincere teacher, about the dhamma, and then you just want to discern your dukkha satya dhamma, uh, in the brief way as well as the detailed way, right? Teacher knows, right? Teacher knows, and try to learn from the teacher. And actually, if you do not see any kind of materiality with your meditation eye, right, that means your meditation knowledge. And if you do not see any kind of causes of the five aggregate, and then you can practice vipassana. That is the Buddha's teaching, right? Okay, vittarenacha acharyasa santike ugannitva vachaya punappunam parivettento yogavacharo kammam karoti. And now therefore, here we have detailed method also, detailed method, and brief method. And actually here, through which those kind of detailed and the brief method, meditator does the discernment. Meditator kammam karoti mean meditation does the discernment. Meditate, actually this is very important, right? And again it says punappunam ugannhita vachaya punappunam parivartento. That means he learns the meditation, this meditation subject, should recite it, and rolling back again and again. Should recite and rolling back again and again. Parivartento mean, ugannhita mean should learn, and should get it rolling back again and again. So that is the meaning. Itaresu pana dvisu saccesu nirodhang ittang kantang manapang Maggasaccan ittang kantang manapang ti evang savanena kammang karoti. Because now it says in this way. Now it says in this way. That means, now you should go to the meditation teacher and you should work on accordingly. Because you should discern the first and second noble truths yourself. But actually, how about then you can understand the third and fourth noble truths, still you didn't cross this. Therefore, it is by hearing only. Because Buddha has given many Dhammadesana to the Nirodha Sacha and Magga Sacha, and because of hearing by your teacher or by the Buddha's explanation in the canon, so you must that means in the case of last two noble truths, that means Nirodha Sacha and the Magga Sacha, meditator works on by means of hearing, right? By means of hearing. In what way hearing? This is the hearing way. Nirodha Sachang ittang kantang manapang. Savanena kammang karoti. And Magga Sachang ittang kantang manapang evang savanena kammang karoti. That means, what is the meaning? The last two noble truths meditator works on by means of hearing, that the nibbana is pleasant and enjoyable and agreeable. So that is the meaning. Itang kantang manapang mean itang mean pleasant, and kantang enjoyable, manapang agreeable, and the noble path is also pleasant, agreeable, and pleasant, enjoyable, and agreeable, because he actually didn't realize them still. So therefore, you just want to hear, oh, Nibbana is very peaceful and it is pleasant, enjoyable, agreeable. So Maggasacha also, your Noble Eightfold Path, the containing 8 factors. So that path is also pleasant, enjoyable, agreeable, like that you hear, you listen in this way. And hearing only, still you want to understand this, the last two noble truths, but first and second noble truths, you must discern. That is the meaning here. Then let's go another sentence. Itaresu pano disu saccesu, so evam karonto chattari sanchani eka pativedeneva pativijjati ekabi samayena abhisameti. And actually, if you discern those things, then if you discern, and if you discern the first noble truths and the second noble truths, uh, yeah, if you discern the first noble truths and the second noble truths, and if you practice vipassana as anicca for a long time, dukkha for a long time, taking your objects. What are the objects? First and second noble truths. So therefore, while meditator is practicing and getting endeavor in this way, he penetrates four noble truths simultaneously in one mind movement. That is therefore they say in this way, eka pativedeneva chattari sachani eka pativedeneva pativijjati eka bisamena bisameti. And then that means, while meditator is practicing and getting endeavor in this way, he penetrates the four noble truths simultaneously in one mind movement with single realization, right? And then he realized the noble nibbana, and again it says in this way, dukkam, okay, and then eka pativedena ekabhisamena abhisameti. Yeah, that means, what is the meaning here? That means he realized the Nibbana through single realization, right? Through single realization, he realized Dukkhan parinya pativedena pativejjati. Again, explain how you want to discern and how you want to penetrate and realize dukkha sacha, dukkha sacha in one mind moment simultaneously with the other that we yeah. So how they say in this way, Dukkhan parinya pativedena pativijjati. Pativijjati means penetrate. So dukkha means dukkha satya. Dukkha satya means your five aggregate, first noble truths. Or we can say, yeah, that is the five aggregate. And then, that is the first vipassana object. So if you, what is the parinya pativedena pativijjati? What is the meaning of parinya? Parinya means complete. Complete. Parinya, the complete knowledge without remainder, what is called parinya. Pativedena means he penetrates. So then, therefore, in the case of realization, meditator penetrates the noble truth of suffering owing to the complete knowledge. Parinya pativedena means owing to the complete knowledge. What is this complete knowledge? Can somebody guess? Guess by your mind. What is this complete knowledge of the noble truth of suffering? So this is the parinya. Parinya means complete, without remainder, no anything lacking. So what is the then you are that means you are materiality meditation, mentality meditation, and materiality and mentality meditation, and both internal and external. If you discern in this way and practice vipassana, then that is what is called parinya pativeda. Parinya pativeda. So keep it mind. That is the complete. How it become complete? Complete means mentality meditation, mentality and mentality meditation, and then both internal and external. Because Buddha every time told in this Maha Satipatthana Sutta, iti ajatangva kaya kayanupasivirati like thing. Bahidava kaya kayanupasivirati. Oh ajatang, sorry, ajat iti ajatang vedana vedana su vedananupasivirati. Bahidava vedana su vedananupasivirati. Like that. Buddha explained many times this internal and external discernment. So I told you how to approach to the internal and external discernment. And so therefore this is the complete penetration, mentality meditation, materiality meditation, mentality and materiality definition knowledge, and you should do it both internal and external. So then it complete the knowledge without remainder. That is what's called parinya pativeda. So you must understand, or you must penetrate dukkha satya with parinya pativeda, complete knowledge without remainder. And samudayam pahana pativedena pativijjati, right? Samudayam pahana pativedena pativijjati. That what is the meaning? Pativijjati mean again penetrates. Actually, pativijjati mean penetrates. Therefore, meditator penetrates the origin of five aggregate. That means origin of five aggregate means those are the suffering aggregate. Origin of five aggregate owing to the abandonment. Abandonment means what? Abandoned by the path knowledge. So craving is the one which is abandoned by the path knowledge. So then therefore pahana means abandoned. So you should understand, you should penetrate the origin of five aggregate owing to the abandonment of the craving, right? And nirodhang satchakiriya pativedena. How you should understand the nirodha mean your nirodha satcha, or the noble truth of the cessation of suffering. Meditator penetrates the cessation of suffering, or the nibbana. Cessation of suffering means that is the nibbana. So cessation of the meditator penetrates the cessation of suffering owing to the accomplishment of the nibbana, right? Satchikiriya pativedena means accomplishment of the nibbana. So in this way you need to understand. And Maggang Bhavana Pativedena Pativijjati. Maggang Bhavana means the development, right? Development. So meditator penetrates the noble truth of the practice, right? Meditator penetrates the noble truth of the practice, which leads to the cessation of suffering, or which leads to penetrate the nibbana, right? So the Maggasacca, which leads to penetrates the nibbana through development, right? To development. That means bhavana pativeda, development. That means development of the noble path. Okay, then dukkham, again say in another way, right? Dukkham parinyabhi samayena. The first one it is said dukkham parinya pativedena. Pativeda mean penetrate. Abhisamaya mean, abhisamaya mean realization, right? Abhisamayena mean by way of the realization, owing to the realization. So then realization, and then somebody ask, what is the realization and what is the penetration? What are the in different between them? This is the Buddha's Desana Vilas, right? This is the Desana Vilas. That means sometimes Buddha explain Pativeda. Pativeda means penetrate. Pativedeti. Or Buddha mentioned Abhisameti. Right? Abhisameti means realize. Right? To realize is the Abhisameti. So then now again that means he realized the noble truth of suffering owing to the complete knowledge, parinya abhisamena, and he then it has been shortened there. Parinya abhisamena peyana maggang bhavana abhisamena abhisameti. I will explain in this way. He realized the noble truth of suffering owing to the complete knowledge. That means parinya abhisamena, and he realized noble truth of the origin of suffering through abandonment of the craving, and he realized the cessation of suffering owing to the accomplishment, that is the nibbana. And he realizes the noble truth of the noble truth of the path which leads which leads to realize the nibbana through development, right? Through development. Only the word is different, but the meaning is same. Hmm? And again here again I will tell how, but I need to explain again. That means phenomena of the first and second noble truths are also called, those are the sankhara nimitta. Last day also Dr. Shitala asked by me, what is the sankhara nimitta? So then that means the phenomena of the first and second noble truths are the sankhara, right? Sankhara means that is the explanation. Any phenomena of the first noble truths and any phenomena of the second noble truths are the sankhara. So they are the actually object of vipassana, inside knowledge. Vipassana means the inside knowledge. Therefore, you must discern, you must have discerned them before practicing vipassana. That's very, very important. So that my meaning here, you can't, right? You can't practice vipassana within 2 to 3 days. Keep it in mind. You must practice for a long time to approach to this kind of practice. So therefore, only after pretty important and crucial steps, those 2 steps can discern the arising and passing away of the formations. Right? Formation means the phenomena of the noble truth of the suffering and noble truth of the cause of suffering, and discern them in this way and contemplate them as anicca for a long time, dukkha for a long time, and anatta for a long time. Because why? They are important. Sorry, this is important to practice because what is this impermanent? Impermanent mean anicca, impermanent. That means because they pass away as soon as they arise. You must see this. They pass away as soon as they arise, but not the. It is not the feeling kind of thing, right? You must see this. See means see, right? And again, those kind of phenomena, or the dukkha satya dhamma and the samudaya satya dhamma, are actually um, suffering. Why suffering? Because they're always oppressed by incessant arising and passing away. You must see this, and you can contemplate them as dukkha dukkha for a long time, and discern them as non-self, because there is no permanent self in them. And then you can discern and contemplate them as another or non-self life for a long time. Actually, here, what is the vipassana? We can explain vipassana in this way: to discern the three characteristic of the phenomena of the first two noble truths, or first and second noble truths. That is the vipassana. Hmm? And when your inside knowledge is mature with the five powers, five indriyas or five faculties, and seven uh, enlightenment factors, then you will realize nibbana. So this is the noble truth of the cessation of suffering. That is the third right view. And then when you attain the nibbana, your or your what called magga jnana, or we can say that is the path, noble path. Noble path arises with the noble eight factors. So that is the magga satya, right? But here you wanna know this thing. You have two kinds of cessation in according to the Nirodha Satya. You have two kinds of cessation. This I explained in before also, but I again remind you. What are the two kinds of cessation? The first one is kaya nirodha. Kaya nirodha means the causal and momentary cessation of the first and second noble truths. You have causal cessation, as well as momentary cessation. What is that? So if you see the rupa kalapa, or if you see the four mental aggregates, also for mentality aggregate, that means feeling, perception, formation, and the consciousness aggregate. That is the if you see the mind movement, that is the momentary cessation. What is the causal cessation? If this mind movement, or if this materiality arise with the five remote causes, right? Five remote causes like avijja, tanna, upadana, sankhara, kamma. That is what is called causal cessation, right? You must discern this causal cessation and the momentary cessation. I explained those things actually many times in the anapana section, right? And in another kind of sections also. So that is the kaya nirodha. Kaya nirodha means causal and momentary cessation. And then other one is the achanta nirodha. Achanta nirodha. Achanta means ultimate, right? Absolute or perpetual. Other one is we can say uninterrupted, continuous, complete. So those are the achanta. What are the meaning? Achanta nirodha means cessation. Achanta means, so therefore we can say ultimate cessation, absolute cessation, right? Complete cessation. So that is the nibbana, right? This is the nibbana. But you have the mundane phenomena also, you have cessation. That is the momentary cessation and the causal cessation, right? Try to understand in this. So therefore, basically, you have two kinds of cessation. First one is kaya nirodha. Kaya mean cessation. So kaya nirodha mean that the causal and momentary cessation. Achanta nirodha, or the ultimate cessation, mean the nibbana. So try to understand in this way. And so because of the complete cessation of the causes, the five aggregate completely cease after final cessation. What is the final cessation? That means when you when you realize Nibbana with the Arahant path knowledge, and if you die, right? If you die, when that is the Parinibbana, or we can say that is the final cessation. This is the causal, actually, uh, this is also the five aggregate completely cease when you realize the Nibbana. That is also causal cessation, right? Causal cessation. So therefore, you need to understand the what called Kaya Nirodha and the Achanta Nirodha, right? Achanta Nirodha. Okay. Now let's go to the another. Okay, Maggang. Then again, we will go to Attakatha, right? This is I explained to you because uh, again I review you, right? एवमस्ස පුබ්බභාගේ ද්විසු සච්චේසු උග්ඝහ පරිපුච්ඡා සවන ධාරණ සම්මස්සන පටිවේදෝ හෝති ද්විසු පන සවන පටිවේදෝ යේව. Now you know what is this pubbabhaga? Pubbabhaga patipada. Pubbabhaga patipada, we actually many times we went to Pubbabhaga patipada. Pubbabhaga patipada mean you have 16 kinds of vipassana jnana. So among these vipassana jnana, when you reach up to the anuloma jnana, for example, first jnana is the namarupa paricheda jnana, and the second one is your Pachya Pariggaha Jnana. Namarupa Paricheda Jnana means mentality and materiality definition knowledge. And Pachya Pariggaha Jnana, the second knowledge it is the cause discerning knowledge. And the third one is Sammasana Jnana. Sammasana means when you discern the Dukkha Satya Dhamma and the Samudaya Satya Dhamma, that means your mentality and materiality and their causes. Then if you take this Dukkha Satya Dhamma and Samudaya Satya Dhamma separately, not simultaneously, you can take it simultaneously them. Um, if you practice, if you discern this and contemplate as anicca dukkha anatta, then that is what is called sammasana jnana, right? Sammasana jnana. That is the starting point of vipassana. And then if you in the sammasana jnana, I always told you in the sammasana jnana, if you discern those things and contemplate as anicca dukkha anatta, you must discern their arising, static and passing away movements, right? Three movements you must discern. But when you come into the udayava jnana, arising and passing away knowledge, so udayava jnana, you have tender udayava jnana, that means that is the immature udayava, or we can say that is the tender arising and passing away knowledge, and then you have mature or the powerful udayava jnana, balava. So that means you must discern your object only arising and passing away. No need to discern the static phase. In the case of when we reach to the Bhanga stage, Bhanga stage, you can see you must discern only the dissolution or the passing away of the passing away phase only, and then you practice accordingly as anicca dukkha anatta. Then that is what is called Bhanga. And then Bhanga, then they are developed Bhaya or the fearfulness knowledge, and then like that, then Adinava Jnana, danger, the fault, default, the finding false knowledge, and then you have Nibbida Jnana, in disenchantment knowledge, and then you have Patisankha Jnana, Munchitu Kammeta Jnana, that is mean Munchitu Kammeta Jnana, and then if you discern the Munchitu Kammeta Jnana, right? Then you have Patisankha Jnana, reviewing knowledge, right? Reviewing knowledge. And then not the reviewing knowledge, actually it is the Patisankha mean reviewing of the object again and again, right? Reviewing of the object again and again. Object mean Dukkha Satya Dhamma and the Samudaya Satya Dhamma. And then when you reached up to the Sankarupekka, Sankarupeka mean when you reach to that level, that's the highest, most actually from the Sankarupeka, the highest Vipassana Jnana, those are what's called highest Vipassana Jnana in the mundane still, right? Mundane highest. So Sankarupeka Jnana, then you don't have any fearfulness, and then you don't have any delight on the on your five aggregate or their causes, and actually here you maintain your equanimity without fear, without getting any fear towards the objects, or without getting any attachment towards the object with the delighting. And then the knowledge arise with the anuloma, that means conformity knowledge bending towards the nibbana, but still it is mundane because it has a mundane object, right? Mundane object means dukkha satchadhamma or the samudaya satchadhamma. And again, if you see the if you bend with this jnana or the knowledge, then there arise what called lean there arise gotrabhu jnana. That means that is the uh, gotrabhu mean actually change of your lineage, right? Lineage, change of your lineage, that jnana arises. And then it takes the nibbana as object, right? This is the nibbana, but it cannot destroy any kilesa. So up to that, not the gotrabhu jnana, up to the anuloma, that is the pubba bhaga, right? Up to the anuloma pubba bhaga, and after the gotrabhu, that is the apara bhaga. Oh, the preliminary part is the preliminary part of this meditation up to the anuloma jnana or the conformity knowledge, and the other kind of jnana, thereafter magga jnana or the path knowledge and the fruition knowledge and the reviewing knowledges are the apara bhaga patipada, or the final part of this meditation, 16 kinds of vipassana jnana, or the 16 kinds of insight knowledges, those are. So now here it says, okay, now let's go to our Atakatha again. Now it says in this way, Evamasa, yeah, it says in this way, Evamasa Pubba Bhage mean in the mundane, right? Uh, in this case of the actually, in the case of preliminary part of this Noble Eightfold Path, right? Preliminary part of this Noble Eightfold Path, Dvisu Sachesu Uggaha Paripucha Savana Dharana Sammasana Pativedo Hoti. Because of this reason, in the case of preliminary part of this Noble Eightfold Path, the penetration actually in the first and second Noble Truths is by way of learning, questioning, listening, keeping in mind, and discerning, contemplating as anicca dukkha anatta, like anicca dukkha anatta of the phenomena of the first and second noble truths. So that is what is called sammasana. So Pativeda mean that is the penetration, your penetration in this way. That mean again, your penetration is learn from the learning, questioning, listening, keeping in mind, discerning, contemplating as anicca dukkha anatta of the phenomena of the second and first noble truths. So, but Dvisupana mean the next two, Nirodha Sacha and the Magga Sacha, Savana Pativedo Yeva. In the case of third one, that means Nirodha Sacha, and the fourth one, Magga Sacha, the penetration is only through the hearing, right? Only through the hearing till you penetrate, right? Till you penetrate. If you penetrate, you can see it, and the Nibbana, and you can see the eight noble eightfold factors. Then up to that, just you realize listening only. Aparabhage. Now, when you came into the Aparabhaga Patipada, that means if you come across with the Magga Jnana and the Phala Jnana, or the path knowledge and the fruition knowledge and the kind of thing, right? Aparabhage Tisu, that means Tisu Kichato Pativedo Hoti. Aparabhage mean that mean in the case of Aparabhaga Patipada, right? Aparabhaga Patipada mean when you see the Nibbana, right? Uh, so when meditator reaches to the final part, or I can say supramundane, right? Final part of this noble eightfold path. So the penetration of dukkha satcha, samudaya satcha, and magga satcha is as performance with the true practice, right? Uh, that is what is called kicchato pati tisu kicchato pativedo hoti. These three kicchato pativedo. That means the practice that means the performance with practice only. That's that penetration. Uh, Nirodhe Aramana Pativedo. And what is the penetration? If you see the Nibbana, that is the object penetration, right? Nirodha is the object penetration. So then the penetration of the noble truth of the cessation of suffering is through the Nibbana object, right? Nibbana object. That means that is the Arabhana Pativeda. And other one is Kichato Pativeda. Kichato means performance. Only with the performance with the true practice. Performance of the true practice only you can understand three satcha means dukkha satcha, samudaya satcha, and the magga satcha. And then that is the only one aramana pativeda means nibbana aramana. Right? Nibbana aramana means the object. So that is the only one. Pachavekkana now comes into the Pachavekkana, reviewing knowledges, right? Reviewing knowledge. Pachavekkana patta satchasa hoti. Pachavekkana mean, Pachavekkana mean reviewing. So the reviewing, actually, that is the, for, when the meditator has actually attained the Four Noble Truths, right? Then the reviewing comes to be, because for noble truths you have, in the case of sotapanna magganyana or the stream entry path knowledge, also you have a realization of the nibbana, and then the reviewing of this thing, right? What are the reviewing thing? Those are the reviewing thing. For example, you must review the path knowledge, you must review the fruition knowledge, you must review the nibbana, and you must review the what are the rest of defilement that you have at that time, and what are the destroyed defilement that in that special situation. So how many five things you need to review in the Sotapanna Magganyana? In the case of Sakadagami Magganyana, also five things, same kind of five things you need to review. But when you reach to the Anagami, yeah, kind of thing you need to review. Kind of thing mean the what is the Anagami path, what is the fusion Anagami fusion knowledge, and then Nibbana, and again what are the defilement you destroyed, right? For example, you destroyed your kamaraga patiga completely. What is the kamaraga mean? The kamaraga mean that is the craving, right? Or we can say that is the greed, with related to the five sense doors in the five sensual world, like human world, and then for woeful states, as well as the six kind of deva world or the celestial world. Those are kind up to the Mara's world, right? Up to the Mara's world, that is the Kama Vachara. Or we can say that those are um, related to the five sense doors. So therefore, Kamaraga totally destroyed by the Anagami Magganyana. And then Patiga mean, that is the resentment. Patiga mean the resentment. So this resentment is related to the ill will, animosity, anger, like thing, right? So ill will, with ill will, your issa or the jealousy also removed, and kukkucha. With ill will your remorse also, or the regret also review, sorry, destroyed. And then with the dosa or the anger or ill will, your stinginess also, machariya, stinginess also removed. So therefore, you don't have any in the case of anagami maganyana also, you have you what are the defilement that you destroyed and what are the defilements still rest in your mind. So you need to find out five things with the anagami maganyana also. But in the case of arahant, right, arahant maganyana, in the when you reach to the arahant, you destroyed five kinds of fetters. For example, uh, Ruparaga, Aruparaga, Mana, Uddacha, Avijja. I will explain in English. Ruparaga means it is the craving to reborn in the case of fine material world, and Aruparaga means to the immaterial world. And then Mana, conceit, Uddacha mean the restlessness of mind. Avijja is the ignorance. So then all five kinds of fetters uh, destroy are destroyed by the arahant path knowledge. So therefore, to the arahant path knowledge, you don't need to discern the what are the rest of kilesa, right? Rest of defilement, because no rest of defilement in the arahant path knowledge. If you come across to the arahant path knowledge, you don't have rest of thing. Therefore, in the arahant path knowledge, you must discern other four kinds of reviewing things, reviewing stages. So therefore, keep it mind that is the Pachavekana. So then Pachavekana pana patta sachasa hoti. That means whichever the path knowledge you penetrate, right? Whichever the path knowledge you penetrate, then accordingly only reviewing comes to be. So Ayancha Adikammiko, this reviewing is to the novices only. Novice, right? Novice only. And novice means the beginner. So there's total reviewing, right? Total reviewing with the five stages. With the five stages, total reviewing is to the novice only or the beginner only. Uh, Therefore, tasma sa idha na vutta. Uh, Therefore, this reviewing, Buddha didn't mention in the Pali canon, right? Canon, it is not not that means Desana Pali, you don't have any reviewing kind of thing. But that is in the Atakatha. Atakatha means that is also Buddha's word, and therefore, because it is the reviewing is to the total reviewing. Total reviewing is to the beginner, because of that reason Buddha didn't mention in the Desana Pali as reviewing. Okay, and then let's go move to um, let's move to yeah, we can go, but yeah, still we are in the right view, right view. Actually here, right view. Okay. Imasacha bhikkhuno pubbe pariggahato dukkhaṃ parijānāmi samudayam pajahāmi nirodhaṃ sacchikaromi maggaṃ bhavemīti abhoga samannāhara manasikara paccavekkhana natti. Okay. Actually, what is this? Here, I want to tell this thing before. This thing before mean uh, before we need to understand. You need to understand this thing. I just explained. It is not in the Atakatha, not this Atakatha. I can remember this thing is in another Atakatha. Actually, you should know the path factors of this four types of right view. Four types of right view mean what is the fourth type? The Maggasaccaniddeso. Maggasacca, you have path factors. So that is the Maggasacca. Then Maggasacca means the knowledge of the way leading to the cessation of suffering. So what are the path factors? You know now it has two types. These path factors. Oh, this Maggasacca, you have two types of Maggasacca. The first one is mundane still. We just went to Pubba Bhaga Patipada. So this is the mundane Maggasacca. Hmm? And then the other one is supramundane Maggasacca. So then while practicing Vipassana, you should discern your meditation mind also. You should discern your meditation mind and you should contemplate your meditation mind as anicca for a long time. That means impermanence for a long time, suffering for a long time, and then non-self like long time. That is what is called pati vipassana. If you discern your meditation mind, it is the pati vipassana. So your meditation mind is the javana mind movement, because javana mind movement only can have your what called an inside knowledge. The other, you don't have inside knowledge. Inside knowledge is only you have javana mind movement. So while practicing, what are the mental process? What is the mental process? While practicing taking the object in the Pubba Bhaga Patipada, for example, if you take the Dukkha Satya Dhamma or the Samudaya Satya Dhamma by your meditation mind, and if you what are the how the mentality comes to this discernment. So first your uh, bhavanga arrest, right? Bhavanga arrest, because you take the another object, another dukkha satya or samudaya satya object. So then bhavanga arrest and your manodara vajjana mind movement comes, right? Arises in the heart base. And manodara vajjana means mind or adverting consciousness that takes the dukkha satya dhamma or the samudaya satya dhamma as the object. And then there arise first javana mind movement, that means impulsion mind movement, and then second impulsion, third impulsion, fourth impulsion, fifth impulsion, sixth impulsion, and seventh impulsion, like impulsion mind movement arises, right? Taking the same object. And here, uh, this actually right view is here, right? Right view, right. Every factors are in the Javana mind movement, right? Every factors mean not all eight here, because you are still in mundane. In the mundane, you don't have this thing, right? Right, right speech you don't have, right action you don't have, right livelihood you don't have in the same or in the javana mind movement when you practice vipassana as anicca dukkha anatta that is still in the mundane. So in the mundane you have five factors only. Five factors mean without those things you have other rest of five factors. That means your right view, right intention, and right effort, right mindfulness, and the right concentration are in this path knowledge, right? Path knowledge. So in the path knowledge, you have 34 total mentality. 34 total mentality mean, your mental your meditation mind you have, and you have other 33 mental factors, right? 33 mental factors. So actually, other one is right thought. Right thought, that is the if you discern the if you that mean the right view mean right view, that means the knowledge of the what is the right view, the knowledge of the anicca dukkha anatta of the phenomena of five aggregate and their causes. That means first noble truths and the second noble truths knowledge is the right view, right view. And then right thought or right intention, we can say that is the initial application, right intention means initial application of the mind to the phenomena of the first and second noble truths. Actually then it become right thought, right? Then it become right thought if the initial application every time, right? Every time with the mind movement, it lifts the mind towards the object of first noble truth and the second noble truth separately. That is what is called right thought. Right thought. And the right effort mean this is the third factor. Right effort mean the effort to know or to discern the phenomena of the first and second noble truths, right? That is what is called, then it become right effort. Otherwise it is not the right effort. Try to understand in this way. If your effort is to discern the first and second noble truths, that is the right view, sorry, right effort. And what is the right thought? That means the initial application that discern the first and second noble truths and contemplate as anicca dukkha anatta. That is the right thought then. And in the same way, right mindfulness is, what is the right mindfulness here? The mindfulness to focus um, only to the phenomena of the first and second noble truths, then it becomes the right mindfulness. Otherwise, it is not that mean, right? If you discern another thing, that is not your right mindfulness. If you discern another thing with good effort, it is not the right effort, and then you can realize the nibbana. Can't, right? And the finally you have right concentration, right? That is the fifth factor. Right concentration, that is this mundane, right? Mundane you have five factors only, but supramundane you have eight factors. Eight noble eightfold path, you have eight factors. In the mundane practice, still you have five jhana, five uh, path factors, right? So, right concentration means the concentration through which the meditator can see very clearly the anicca, dukkha, anatta, and the anicca, dukkha, anatta nature of the phenomena of the first and second noble truths. So that is this is the access concentration and jhana concentration, right? Access concentration and jhana concentration. That is not the preliminary concentration. Keep it in mind, not the preliminary concentration, but when you practice vipassana, that become the khanika samadhi or the momentary concentration. Momentary concentration means you just don't take this momentary concentration is not simply, it is the very huge concentration, right? So actually, so these are the five noble factors, path factors belong to the mundane path, right? So therefore it is very easy to understand in the mundane path or Pubbabhaga Patipada, according to this Atakatha, Pubbabhaga Patipada or the preliminary part of this meditation, you have five path factors without Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanta and the Samma Ajiva. And when you reach to the supramountain state, all eight factors comes into your Maggajnana or the path knowledge and the Palajnana. So, therefore, the right view that realize the Nibbana is the knowledge of the noble truth of the cessation of suffering. Right? The right view that realize the Nibbana is the noble truth of the cessation of suffering. And the right view is associated with either six or seven path factors. Therefore, six or seven path factor, that means altogether you have seven and eight factors. That is the meaning, which are the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. Actually, you know what here, why there are seven or eight factors here. In the case of, if you realize nibbana while discerning sensual objects, right? That means dukkha satchidamma. Sensual objects mean, while discerning the sensual objects, that means dukkha satchidamma, and the first jhana phenomena. If you discern the first jhana phenomena, right, or the formation as anicca, dukkha, anatta, then the all eight path factors are there. All eight path factors are there. That means if you take the object as the dukkha satchidamma with the sensual objects, right? Sensual object. That means five sense the doors object. But and if you take the object as the first jhana dhamma or the formation, then the all 8 path factors are present at that time, right? With the right speech, right action, and the right livelihood. But if you realize Nibbana while discerning the second jhana, Nama Dhamma, and the Rupa Dhamma, or that means if you enter into the second jhana and you come out from the second jhana, emerging out from the second jhana, you just focus your chitta viti or the mental process and take the mental movements, right? Mind movements, each one after the another. And then if you practice vipassana, right? If you practice vipassana, then in the case when you actually in the second jhana, now second jhana dhamma are the vipassana object, right? So then if you practice as anicca dukkha anatta, there are only 7 path factors. Because why? In the case of second jhana, you don't have right vitakka and vichara chetasika. Vitakka vichara means vitakka is the right thought, and that is the initial application, or we can say right thought or initial application with those second jhana, right? The second jhana, you don't have vitakka and vichara, but vichara, Buddha never mentioned as the path factor here. Only vitakka, right? Vitakka. So therefore, if you enter into the second jhana and if you practice vipassana based on this jhana, right? You don't have initial application or vitakka. That means you don't have right thought. Then you have seventh mental factors, right? So, seventh mental factor, that means seventh path factors, right? Those are the mental factor in way. Okay, try to understand in this way, and then if you go further, right? If you go further up to the 8 attainment, usually seventh path factor remain, right? Right, seventh path factor remaining because uh, no any kind of some path factor now skipping, right? Every path factor or every 7 is there, are there. Okay, now let's move to our imasacha bhikkhuno, right? Okay, imasacha bhikkhuno pubbe pariggahato dukkang pajanami samudayang pajahami nirodhan sachikaromi maggang bhave miti abhoga abhoga samannahara manasikara pachavekkana natti. Okay, what is the meaning there? That means, and before the discernment of phenomena, right? Pubbe parigahato, before the discernment of the phenomena to this bhikkhu, there is no like giving thought, right? Abhoga mean there is no giving thought. Samanahara mean no, Samanahara mean carrying the mind perfectly. Yeah, perfectly again and again, right? Carrying the mind perfectly towards the object again and again. That is also samannahara. And manasikara. Manasikara mean attend to. So then manasikara, other one is pachavekana, reviewing. So therefore, in the uh, before the discernment of the phenomena, right? Before the discernment of phenomena, that means he is a novice now, or the beginner. So before the discernment of the phenomena to this bhikkhu, there is no giving thoughts, no carrying the mind repeatedly again and again, no attended to the object. That means, and no reviewing, therefore, no reviewing. Aparabhage pana, sorry, parigahato pattaya hoti. And then if you, so what is the, what is, what is there in this way? The giving thought or no carrying mind towards the object perfectly and attended to and reviewing to what I under in this way. I understand the noble truth of suffering. I abandon the origin of suffering. I accomplish the cessation of suffering, and I develop the path like such kind of, right, such kind of abhoga or the giving thought or such kind of samanahara, carrying the mind repeatedly again and again, or such kind of manasikara attend to, and such kind of reviewing is not there. But that now there are. So those are with the person who took the meditation subject in this way, the vipassana meditation subject, and therefore then the uh, if you discern only, right? If you discern, that means then you have, right? If you discern the phenomena of the first and second noble truths, then you have given thought, right? Some abhoga you have, and samanahara, that means carrying the mind perfectly, and attend to the object and reviewing the object, you have then aparabhage pana. Now pubabhage, now explain the aparabhage, right? Aparabhage pana dukkang parinyatameva. And dukkang parinyatameva, samudrayang pajahanameva, and then nirodhan sachikatameva, and maggang bhavitova hoti. So therefore, aparabhage means when you reach to the supramundane status, right? So in the final part of this noble eightfold path, supramundane, then the noble truth of suffering is completely understood, right? And the origin of suffering is abandoned, and the cessation of suffering is accomplished. The path leading to the cessation of suffering is developed like kind of thing. You have in upper bhag means in the final part of this meditation. Tatha dve sachani duddaso gambirani. Now here two kinds of sacha, or the noble truths, right? Duddasani, Gambi, Duddasat, sorry, Tatta Dve Sachani, Duddasatta Gambirani. Regarding four noble truths, two truths are Gambirani. Gambirani means deep and profound, right? Deep and profound. Because why? Duddasatta. Duddasat means actually hard to see, right? Duddasa means hard to see. Because they are hard to see, right? See in the ultimate sense, because in the ultimate sense they are very hard to see, very hard to see mean without some kind of previous concentration you can't see, previous good concentration with the access or absorption you can't see. And uh, now so therefore two noble truths. Two noble truths are hard, now. Therefore, it says two noble truths are deep and profound because they are hard to see. And again, same in this way. Uh, Dve sachani duddasata gambirani, dve gambirata duddasani. Right? They gambirata duddasani. And then again, two noble truths are hard to see in nature because they are deep and profound, right? First way explanation is because these two noble truths are deep and profound because why? They are hard to see. Now it says two noble truths. Again, another kind of two noble truths are hard to see in nature because they are deep and profound. So, for example, Nibbana is deep and profound. So you can see. And the Maggasacca, Magga Jnana also, you cannot see, you can see in the reviewing, but still, uh, uh, it is deep and profound. But if you do not see, right? So what are they? Now they gonna explain in this way. Uh, Dukkha Satchang, Dukkha Satchang hi Uppattito Pakatang, Khanta, Kanu Khanta Paharadisu, Aho Dukkang life, Vattabampi Apajati. Now explain what is the Dukkha Satcha, right? So Dukkha Satcha, and again let's say Samude Satchampi, Samudayampi, Khaditu Kamata, Bunjitu Kamata Divasena Uppatito Pakatang. Lakkana Pativedato Pana Ubeampi Gambirang. See, Lakkhana Pativeda mean with the characteristic, understanding with the characteristic of the phenomena. Actually, that is not easy, right? Not easy. Therefore, Lakkhana Pativeda to pana ubhyampi gambi, sorry, Lakkhana Pativedo to pana ubhyampi gambiram. Yeah, those kind of, okay, I will explain in this way. See, in this way, the noble truth of suffering is very evident as a rising indeed. Hmm? Rising as a rising, noble truth of suffering are very, noble truth of suffering is very evident. It comes like, oh, it's suffering, like somebody says, right? Somebody saying somebody when like, Kanu Kantaka Paharadesu, like whack or struck, right? Whack or struck with the Kanu Kantaka. Kanu Kantaka mean what is the, uh, or we can say hit, attacked, like with the stump and thorns, right? Thumb, stump and thorn, not thorn, thorn. Kanu mean, Kantaka mean thorn, Kanu mean um, a stump-like thing, right? Stump-like thing. So therefore, why the noble truth of suffering is very evident in the as it arising, right? As it arising, noble truth of suffering are very evident because like it comes like, oh, it's suffering when uh, hit or attacked with the stump and the thorns like thing. And again, say samudayampi. Samudayampi khaditu kamata, bunjutu kamata. Khaditu kamata mean willing to khaditu, uh, willing to eat, right? Khaditu, willing to eat, and bunjitu kamata, willing to take food, right? Bunjitu kamata mean willing to take food, and bunjitu kamata divasena uppattito pakatang. They say in this way, according to the Buddha's teaching. So, and the origin of suffering also is evident because as it arising, right? As it arising, it is very evident by way of craving to eat, right? Craving to eat, craving to enjoy food or something like that. But again, it says, Lakkana Pativeda Topana Ubeyampi Gamhira. Lakkana Pativeda mean actually, however, discernment of both phenomena. Lakkana Pativegada mean that's the meaning. Discernment of these both phenomena are most likely deep and profound, right? Most likely deep and profound. Why? It is actually discernment is not easy, right? Without jhana, it is very, very difficult. Okay, because of that reason, it says ititani duddha satta gambirani. Because of that reason, right? Because of that reason, so they are deep and profound because of difficulty to see, right? Difficulty to see or hard to see. That's the meaning. Itare sampana dvinnang dasanataya payogo bhavagahanatang hastapasaranang via avici sanat, sorry, avici uh, pusanattang padapasaranang via satada binnasa valasa kotiya koti padanang via cha hoti. Ititani Gambirata Duddasani. And now they explain the kind of another two thing in Nirodha Satcha and the Maggasacca. So Nirodha Satcha and the Maggasacca is like a stretching of the upper limb to seize the foremost higher, yeah. It is like here stretching of the upper limb to seize or catch the foremost highest world. That means the Nevasanya Nasanya, like foremost highest world, you can't you can take by touching your hand, right? By touching your hand. That means such kind of difficulty feel when you go. Impossible to, that means impossible to impossible with this method. That means when you sorry, if you stretch your hand and touch the Nivasanya Nasanya world or the foremost highest world, you can't, right? That is the mundane, right? Mundane foremost highest world. So then oh, like stretching of the lower limb towards the last hair in order to touch it, right? In order to touch it, and like fixing again of a like a tail which has been broken into 100 pieces, right? 100 pieces. If the fixing tail mean, tail, some tail, a kind of let's say dog tail and the elephant tails like thing. So then tail, if the uh, like it is very difficult, like stretching of the lower limb towards the last tail in order to touch it, and and uh, because fixing of a like, right, like fixing again of a tail which has been broken into the 100 pieces, like that it is difficult, right? So it says, yeah. So then third and fourth noble truths are very hard to see. Third and fourth, right? Third and fourth noble truths are very hard to see because of the state of the depth and profundity, right? Depth and profundity of them, because of this thing, right? Depth and profundity of the third and fourth noble truth, it's very hard to see. So it is, therefore it is says, Gambirata Duddasani. Gambirata Duddasani. Gambira mean it is deep and profound. Because of its deep and depth and profundity, uh, it is Duddasani. Duddasani means hard to see, right? So here it says in this way, Spada Pasaranang Via Satada Binnasa Valasa Kotia Koti Padanang Via Hoti. So Vala mean the tail, right? Tail. 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 Valasa Kotia Koti Padanang Via. Then that means when the tail has been broken to 100 like pieces, then you can't fix it, right? You can fix it up again. Evan Duddha Satta Gambiresu Gambirattacha Duddha Setu. Sorry, Evan Duddha Satta. In this way, Duddha Satta means because of it is hard to see. Gambiresu Gambirattacha Duddha Sesu. Sorry, Duddha Satta Gambiresu. In this way, that is the meaning I want to tell, right? Um, that means Duddha Satta Gambiresu. Uh, Actually, this noble truth of suffering and the okay, here in this way. Evan Duddha Satta Gambiresu Gambiratta cha Duddha Sesu. Like that you want to take, right? Evan Duddha Satta Gambiresu Gambiratta Duddha Setu Chatusu Sachesu Uggahadi Vasena Pubbabhaga Jnanopatyan Sandhaya Idan Dukhe Jnanantyadi Uttam. Pativedepana Ekameva Tang Jnanam Hoti. Dukke Jnanam, so on. It has been said in this way, right? In this way, it is stated starting from this is the noble truth of suffering and the like passage by the Buddha with reference to arising of the knowledge that is related to the preliminary part of this noble eightfold path, by way of learning, questioning, listening, right? Keeping in mind, and then discerning and contemplating. Uggaha, Paripucha, Savana, Dharana, Sammasana, Pativeda, like thing, right? In the Four Noble Truths, right? Uh, Actually, which are deep and profound because of difficulty to see in the ultimate sense, right? And are difficult to see because of depthness and yeah, what called depthness, right? Duddha satta gambiresu, right? Duddha satta gambiresu. Gambira mean it is deep and profound, right? Because of the depthness and profundity, difficult to see. And but in the supramundane stage, when meditator realize the Four Noble Truths, that all four kinds of right view become single right view. That's the meaning. Become single right view. When you realize the Nibbana, all four kinds of right view. What right view? Dukkha jnana is one right view. Samudaya jnana is another kind of right view. Third jnana is the dukkha nirodha jnana, and dukkha nirodha gamini patipadaya jnana. So kind of all four jnana, or the knowledge of the right view, becomes single right view when you realize the nibbana with the any kind of path knowledge. All become one right view, because you don't have four kinds of right view in your vipassana mind. Only one right view you have. That thing you must understand. So then we can finish here today, because we finish dukkha. Sorry, this is the right view only. We can finish right view only. So this is next other kind of number eightfold path factors we do in another session.
We'll open up the forum for question and answer. If you have any question for Bhante, please raise your hand. We will allow you to unmute and ask your question. Bhante, we have a question here, Bhante.
Yeah. Okay.
Vandami Bhante.
Ihotu.
Bhante. Such excellent explanation, Bhante. So much gratitude, Bhante.
Okay.
Bhante, my question is regarding to that Nirodha. You explained like two type of Nirodha there, like Khaya Nirodha and Achanta Nirodha. Is that, are we mapping that to the Tadanga Pahana and the Samucheda Pahana, Bhante? Is that...
Yes. Khaya Nirodha mean that is also Tadanga Pahana, right? In the Tadanga mean part by part defilement we can destroy while practicing Vipassana, right? Actually, that is in the not in the Achanta Nirodha. Achanta Nirodha, that is when you see the Nibbana, and that is it is in the Khaya Nirodha, right? Khaya Nirodha, that means causal and momentary cessation. Yes. Other one is what called Tadanga Pahana, and again you tell
Samucheda Pahana.
Samucheda Pahana. Yes. Samucheda Pahana to the Achanta Nirodha. Right? Yeah, good. Okay.
Bhante, I had a question when you were explaining about the 8 factors as a Chetasika in the when we are doing those path knowledge and fruition knowledge. So Bhante, in the path knowledge too, there would be all 8 factors present, and in fruition knowledge too, all 8 factors would be present. What could be absent would be based on which jhana level you have reached to that level, right? To the path or whatever base samadhi you have taken, whether it's a first jhana samadhi or second jhana, third jhana or fourth jhana, those factors would change.
Yes.
But these 8 factors would be present in path knowledge, Sakadagami, Anagami, Sotapanna, Arhat, path knowledge. And they would be all it would be also present in that single one moment of fruition knowledge as well. Sotapanna
Yeah.
fruition knowledge, Sakadagami fruition knowledge, Anagami fruition knowledge, and Arhat fruition knowledge. Is that a correct way of understanding, Bante?
That means when you reach to the when you take the first jhana as vipassana object, hmm, first jhana emerging from the first jhana, you must contemplate the first jhana dhamma, nama dhamma and the rupa dhamma. Then the mentality and materiality. If you practice vipassana as anicca dukkha anatta, then all five factors are there because vitakka is there. Hmm? Vitakka is the initial application. So then, and again, if you practice, for example, you ido, that is the sensual object, no? Dukkha Satchidama still, but it is sensual object. But first jhana is not the sensual object. First jhana is the fine material object. Hmm? That's the way. That's the way you need to understand. Here also, if you practice vipassana with the taking the sensual object, then all path factors are present. First jhana and the sensual object. Right? Even though it is dukkha satcha or the samudaya satcha, but sensual object. Hmm? Then all eight path factors are there. But when you reach to the second jhana, when you enter the second jhana, and so on up to the eighth jhana, there you don't have vitakka. So then seven factors. Can I understand? That is the
Yes, Bante.
understand. That
Yes,
should be.
Bante.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You explain anyway that way. Okay. So then up to eight attainment, you have seventh factors. Seventh noble eightfold path factors. Hmm?
Right,
But
Bante.
when you come into the seven enlightenment factors, in the case of third jhana, you don't have piti bojjanga, right? Piti bojjanga or the piti enlightenment factor, you don't have joy enlightenment factor. So in the third jhana onwards, you have then six factors only. Up to that, you have that means first jhana, second jhana, you have all seven enlightenment factors. Can understand? That is
Yes.
according to the enlightenment. Yeah. Right? So this
Ye-
is according to the path factors.
Yeah, sadhu,
Yeah,
sadhu,
good.
sadhu, Bante. Yeah, no, I understand, Bante. I just had one more, I just wanted to double check one more thing, Bante, that out
Okay.
of the 89 chitta possibilities, these
Here.
8 Magga and Phala chitta, that is Sotapanna Magga chitta and Sotapanna Phala chitta, so on, these 8 Magga and Phala chitta, these
Yeah.
are the only chittas which would have these 8 Arya Magga Chetasika together, like Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappo, Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanto, Samma Ajivo, Samma Vayamo, Samma Sati, and Samma Samadhi. Is that a correct understanding, Bante? These 8 would be present only in these Magga and Phala Chittas.
Yeah, eight only. Eight Magga and eight factors are only in the Magga and Palachita. Hmm?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, Bante. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Sadhu, sadhu,
Hmm.
sadhu, Bante. Again, what a profound and detailed explanation, Bante. Much gratitude.
Okay. So,
Any
but
other?
when you, yeah, I will add something. When you, that is only supramundane, but when you in the mundane, you have five factors only.
Yes,
Hmm?
Bante. Yeah, yeah, I understand, Bante. The Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanto, and Samma Ajivo are not there when it's in
Yeah.
mundane side. When it
Yes.
become a supramundane, then these three are present at the same mind moment.
Yes. Good.
Sadhu, 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 Bhante. Again, what a wonderful and detailed explanation, Bhante. Any other questions we have? Please raise your hand. Okay, Bhante, I do not see any raised hand in the forum, Bhante. Okay,
Okay.
there is a chat question. Okay, yeah. Okay, Bhante, yeah. No more question, Bhante.
Okay. Then we can stop here. And we accumulated kusala thing, and we must sharing merits with the other all beings in this way. So let's recite everybody. Idammi punyang asavakkaya vang hotu. Idammi punyang nibbanasa paccayo hotu. Mama punyang bahagang sabbe sattanang bahajimi. Te sabbe me samang punyang bahagang tabam. Buddha sasanang chiram tithatu. Buddha sasanang chiram tithatu. Buddha sasanang chiram tithatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.